Okay, it looks like we're back. Welcome to Tuesday. Interestingly enough, I'm talking about uh, stress and stress management and stuff. I just did this whole thing once and it didn't record properly. So guess what? I get to do it again. However, I'm not going to let that upset me because I don't like to get upset. And I think that's the thing that I want to talk about a lot today is how we manage things that happen when we don't like when we don't like what's going on. How do we manage that? How do we start to adjust how we're thinking so that we can adjust how we're feeling? And if you ever have listened to me, I'm always talking about that. So I'll fire this up here and we will take a look at this one. And I have to click that, and then I have to click that. And we're off. So today's topic is post-traumatic growth. And that's the other side of post-traumatic stress. When something happens that we don't like or that's difficult or that's traumatizing or frightening or scary, uh, that creates a reaction in us, a natural stress response. The other side of that is what we do about that. And the other side of that is post traumatic growth. So I've got a couple of one, two, three things here because looking at things like one, two, three, counting, keeping things organized, keeping things in a pattern is pretty useful. So, I mean, the number one thing that we're all dealing with at the moment is this COVID-19 epidemic panic situation that we're all not panic pandemic panic for some people uh, pandemic situation that we're all dealing with, and that has thrown everyone kind of off center. Everything's changed. Like, so number two, this is a big life change, and it's created uncertainty and it's created concern, and those things are inherently stress inducing. They're not inherently stressful because how we react to stuff is what determines what becomes stressful. Uh, we can't control stress inducing things, but we can control how we react to them, and that starts to determine our stress response. And number three, we start to look at the solution. We start to find a new balance. We start to accept the situation as it is. We start to make this work. And so, number one on the second screen, and on the opportunity screen, is when things change, we have a choice. And the choice is we can complain or we can make it work. And if you are still complaining about what's happening, you are causing yourself pain, and you don't have to do that. One of the things that I learned a long time ago, and then I try and help other people understand, is that we have to accept the world the way it is. We can't change external stuff. We have to learn how to manage what's going on. We have to make it work. And the third one is we also have to understand that we are in charge of how we think and how we feel. So just practice this for a minute. So big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale, big exhale. Pay attention to how that feels. Pay attention to the air going in, the air going out. Feel the molecules bouncing in your lungs and bouncing in your nose. That starts to focus you on one thing. And learning to focus on one thing is really important. When we start to do that, we start to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. And our parasympathetic nervous system is the thing that makes us feel safe, that makes us feel okay. And if we don't pay attention to activating it, if we don't pay attention to pulling ourselves back into the present, then our sympathetic nervous reaction, which is the thing that's reacting to what's going on outside of us, makes us feel out of control. And so we have to start to pay attention to what we can do to activate that safety response. So we keep breathing. I mean, and that's a big trick with most things, is like keep breathing, because if you don't, you're in trouble. But when we're feeling stress, it's hard to think or plan. We don't feel safe. And so, like I said before, like lots has changed, and it's still changing. And so we have to reteach ourselves how to handle this new situation. And one of the absolute beauties of the human brain is that it is teachable. We can always learn new things. You don't have to like what's happening, but we've got to learn how to make that work for us. We have to learn how to rethink things so that we're not constantly reacting to stuff that's outside of us that we don't have any control over. I mean, one of the prayers or sayings that I learned a long, long time ago is grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And really, the only thing that I can change is how I react to things. So I've asked several times for people to send in videos and stuff to me about how they're managing what's going on. And so Justine, who's a friend of mine from a place that's a little bit snowier than here, sent this in. And I'd like you to just take a listen. She's a younger person than me, obviously. You can tell by her voice. Well, most people are younger than me. But, just have a listen, because she's thought through this really well.
So when I found out about the coronavirus and how we were going to have to take a break from school for a little while, I was shocked for sure at first. And we got an email from the school board, and that sort of put everything into perspective and sort of freaked me out that this was a big enough deal that they would cancel school. So I was definitely scared at first. But I guess like a little bit excited because I would be able to spend time at home, and it was over spring break, so I don't know. It was just, but it was still really uncertain, so I didn't know what to expect. And my spring break had just become 2 weeks longer, and I didn't know what I was going to do with all my free time. And everything had been canceled. You can't go anywhere, so we're just stuck at home, and I had no idea what to do. So you can't really plan for something like this, and no one in the world can really make up a plan for this, because you have no idea what to expect, which is one of the scary things for me especially. So when we just jumped right into it and got started on our break, we had to figure everything out as it came, and that was something I had to learn, going with the flow, because I'm really into organization and planning everything, and that's where everything was uneasy for me. So I didn't really know what to do, but I've sort of created this routine, and I think that's really important, to have a routine and stick with the things that you know that will keep you grounded and not freaking out and always checking the news and always watching TV or getting 2 hours of sleep. You need to like stay away from the news and practice your regular sleep schedule, because even though you're on break, you don't want to feel like drowsy or you have all day. Why stay up all day? You know? So the first day we started off, and my whole family and we all went for a walk just around our house, and that really kick-started the break off well. And just the thing about being in nature and going and getting some exercise, even just light exercise like going for a walk, it was really calming and put everything on pause. And it was just really nice to be one with nature, I guess, and just in that peaceful environment to really get my head around it and cool off. And it was sort of mindfulness, like meditation, but like without just sitting down and closing my eyes. I was walking around, I was doing something, but it was still really calming. So every day since the first day of break, we've been walking all together, just talking and being around the nature outside, wherever you are, you can pretty much always go for a walk or be outside, just sitting outside. That's really nice. That's one of my favorite things that I've been doing. Then when I get home, just eat a good breakfast, whatever you want. Then I have taken up journaling, and every day I get like a journal prompt, and I found these on Pinterest, and I just searched out journal prompts, and they have so many resources for you. And I've gotten a notebook out, and just every day I put the date, I put the prompt, and I just write like even a little paragraph about it. And some of the prompts have been, who inspires you the most in life? What do you need to forgive yourself for? What are some of your goals? What does your dream life look like? And just big questions that are actually really fun to answer. And you do learn something about yourself while answering them. And it's just something about writing down and just writing to yourself, not to anyone else, is really calming. And I guess that's another form of mindfulness, where you're just like loving yourself, doing something for yourself, and just digging into your mind. Yep. So, also staying away from the news. I already mentioned that, but I like when I'm looking at the news, it just seems really negative. And trying to stay away from that is really helpful. Playing games with my family is always super fun, and we've been able to go and try out a bunch of new games and just laughing together. And like even playing cards or solitaire is super great. It takes your mind off things, and you're not on the screen or anything. Reading is super for me because it's not on a screen too. You can do it before bed or when you wake up in the morning. And with reading, you sort of get into another world, and you can sort of escape things if you're not feeling very happy in the place that you're in. And just finding a book that you really like is really calming. And painting and baking are also super for me because I love just being able to do something by myself. Also feeling calm and creative, doing something, having a creative outlet in this time is really important because all of your like activities outside of school have been canceled probably. So you need something to like let loose on. And Pinterest again has so many great ideas to be creative. Listening to music has always been something whenever I feel down, just to get out of my head, listen to something nice. And texting people, connecting with people is really important for me because it's not social distancing that you're supposed to be practicing, it's physical distancing, so not seeing people in person, but you're supposed to still be able to talk to people, like FaceTime, texting, emailing, phone calling. That's also really important. Like I'm still talking to all my friends and my family who don't live with me, and that's really important for me to do, to keep contact with them in these times. And meditating, I haven't tried that yet, but even just not sitting still. I don't like to sit still, I like to get out, but walking and journaling, that's all forms of mindfulness that you can do inside of meditation. But just doing things for you and being true to yourself and like doing things that you know is going to keep you like calm and peaceful and feeling good and positive in this hard time. Love to everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Justine. And again, like anybody else that wants to do a little video diary of what they're thinking, what's going on, what they're doing to help themselves get through this situation, it likely will be really helpful to somebody. And she had lots of really good ideas in there. And her taking us on a walk was really nice. So thank you, Justine. And please, if you want to share some thoughts, you can send them to me on Messenger or email them to me at ranteed@gmail.com, or if you go on my website, directclass.ca, there's a contact us link. You can send stuff there. So please, because this kind of thing can be really helpful for other people. And it's also really helpful for you to take yourself through that process. What are you doing that's working for you? That's helpful. And so the solutions that we need to take a look at, and Justine actually went through all of these. And so the first one is mindfulness, like learning how to pay attention to what you're doing right now. That relaxes you, it centers you, it feels good. Meditation is wonderful. Meditation helps retrain our mind, retrain our brain to manage things differently. And if you don't know how to do that, or you think that you can't do that, remember those questions. Is what you're thinking true? Is it really true? How are you feeling or acting because you're thinking? If you think that, well, that won't work for me, or I can't do that, or I don't like that, that's just going to set you up to not really be successful with it. There's thousands of meditation things on YouTube, guided meditations, things that teach you how to take yourself through that process. And I think it started yesterday, but you can still catch up on it. Oprah and Deepak Chopra are doing a 21-day meditation program to help people work through this situation. Exercise is incredibly useful, really important. And again, you don't have to be lifting thousands of pounds of weights. Like, go for a walk, jump around, watch a hip hop video, and dance with the dancers. Whatever you do that you like to do, that gets you moving, do that. Routine is important. I think I've talked about this every day that I've done this, like getting up at the same time, eating at the same time, planning your day out so that you know what's happening, so that you're not, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because that is instantly stressful. Thinking that you're bored, like being bored is a choice. Like, you can find something to do. Color, draw pictures, do art, write, listen to music. There's lots and lots, lots and lots of stuff you can do. And gratitude, creativity, nutrition, and community are all important. We had Marina on the other day talking about how important it was for her to learn how to pay attention to what's good and be thankful for it. Coloring, drawing, getting those, really interesting, complicated coloring books is really good. Eating well, eating regularly, and connecting with people who care about you. And we can't connect physically right now, but we can do stuff like this. We can text, FaceTime, talk, video conferences, tons of stuff that we can do. So Viktor Frankl, and I've talked about him before, survived the Auschwitz concentration camp. That was worse than this is, way worse. And he learned that even though he was in that awful, awful situation, he could still control how he responded. So between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Like, if you're feeling like this thing is beating you up, starting to change how you think about it, starting to look at what you can do different, starts to free you, and it makes you stronger. So, and this is like brain work. This is brain exercise. And every time you practice mindfulness, every time you practice pulling yourself into something that you like to do, you're creating new patterns in your brain that are going to help you feel better. And your brain gets stronger. It's a workout for it. So go hard. And of course, you weren't going to get away without these. Is what you're thinking true? Is it really true? Because we do lie to ourselves. We get locked up in worst case scenarios, and that makes us feel bad. And so if you don't like how you're feeling, you can change your thinking. And so practice that. Pay attention to what you're thinking that's creating the feelings. And if you want to be happy and relaxed, you can create that for yourself. You are strong enough. So a quick little meditation for you. And again, just a quick breathing practice. So I want you to imagine in front of you someone that you really care about, someone that really matters to you. And in your mind, say to them, I wish that you are well. I wish that you feel peace. I hope that you are happy. And I hope that you feel love. So keep that breath going. And now picture someone that you know is struggling, that's having a hard time. And it may be the same person, or maybe somebody different. And in your mind, say to them, I wish that you are well. I wish that you feel peace. I hope that you are happy. And I hope that you feel love. Keep that breath going. And now picture yourself as you are today, right now as you're watching this. And in your mind, say to yourself, I wish that you are well. I wish that you feel peace. I hope that you are happy. And I hope that you feel love. Thank you. You guys have a good day. I will be back tomorrow. So I have to do that. And I'm going to stop the recording because I forgot to do that last time and erase the whole thing. And take care.